Welcome back to another video. We are in the kitchen again, and we are going to conquer 2 recipes at once today. So without further ado, let's get started. First things first, that's a quick look at the boneless pork roast that we're going to use today. I do purchase these, number one, because I found out how inexpensive they are, and they are so versatile. You can do so much with them, so I really enjoy getting them every now and then. Okay, this first one is so super easy. All we are going to do is put it in a lined baking pan, and I line it with foil just because it's so much easier to clean up afterwards. Honestly, this one didn't have a drip of anything on it when I was done. I almost recorded just to show you because it's a perfect tip. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and put taco seasoning on there and about 15 to 20 shakes of garlic powder. Sorry guys, I've mentioned before, I do not measure. Seriously, I count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, you get it. Okay, once we cover that up with foil, we put it in the oven. I first put it in at 350 for about 3 hours, and I'll show you in a minute here. I did take it out, check it, and it wasn't done, so I put it in for 30 more minutes. Okay, this second roast, we are just going to cube up. You can either make big cubes, small cubes, whatever you desire. This is going to be for the chiliverde, so you cut it up the way you want. Next step, I wanted to put this in here because I think it's very, very important when you are using any kind of meat, especially pork and chicken. Wash and bleach everything you've used. Okay, everything is washed and bleached, so we're ready to go. This is a tomatillo. If you've never seen or used one, they come with that outer skin that you remove and throw away, and then go ahead and wash up your sticky, nasty tomatillo. I cannot stand the feeling of a raw tomatillo, but they make this dish so amazing. So you're gonna wanna muscle through it and get it done. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and finish that up. I always keep my produce bags and use those to put my trash in, and then obviously you see that bowl there. I just keep that out because it's just easier to put trash in that than going to the trash can every few seconds. So I cut the tops off of these. I used to be a lot more meticulous with this, you guys, but you don't need to cut around that. Yeah, just cut it off and go at it. I would suggest as you begin to chop to keep all of your cuts uniformed and small. It's only going to help you in the cooking process and help everything cook evenly. Now, as we go ahead and get done with this tomatillo, we'll put it in the pot with the pork and get started on our onion. Now, I know a lot of you don't like the taste of an onion or maybe the texture, but I would suggest trying just a little bit and cutting it up very, very small. You will find that in this dish, it ends up being the same texture as the tomatillo, so I don't think you're really going to notice it as much as you think you might. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and add our onion to the pot now and start in on our serrano chilies. I am so excited, you guys. These came straight out of our little garden. It's nothing big, but it sure has made us happy this year. We're excited about all the growth in it and using all the delicious produce we're receiving from it. Okay, when I do my chilies, I also cut very, very small, just making sure no one gets a big bite of pepper to burn their mouth with. Okay, so I've got the temp pretty high right now because we're just gonna kind of fry this stuff up. I'm gonna put my oil in. I'm just gonna pour, and I would say about 3 tablespoons. I'll give that some time to fry up. Really quick tip here, I have a bunch of these smaller cutting boards from Walmart. I think they are under $1, you guys, but I always have them out on my counter so I'm not having to break my counter. I can rest my spoon on there, especially when I'm dealing with pork or with chicken or anything like that. But honestly, I use one all the time, and it's just as my spoon rest, and this goes in the dishwasher, and it just keeps my area cleaner. So I just thought I would let you know about that. Okay guys, let's take this flavor to the next level now. We are going to add 2 teaspoons of this chicken flavored bouillon, about 15 to 20 shakes of garlic powder, and then to add a mild smoky flavor, we're going to add about 10 to 15 shakes of cumin. Next on the list are 2 cans of this salsa verde. We're going to go ahead and incorporate that and then fill those cans with water to add to the verde sauce. Okay, now that we have all those beautiful flavors in our pot, we're gonna go ahead, cover this up and let it simmer for about 30 to 45 minutes to let that pork just become super tender and juicy. On to our next step, we are going to make 2 really easy side dishes. One starting with this can of pinto beans and a tablespoon of bacon grease, a little bit of garlic, and a pinch of salt is all you need for this. We're going to let it simmer on that back burner to let those beans become nice and tender and move on to our rice. We're going to take 2 cups of water and a quarter cup of butter. We are going to take a teaspoon of salt, add that to the water, let that come to a soft boil, and then we will begin adding in a cup of rice to the pot. Once we add that cup of rice into the pot, stir up just a little bit, cover it up, and turn it down to a low simmer. On my stove, I put it at number 3, and I will let it cook for 12 minutes. Okay, now we are going to go ahead and begin thickening our verde sauce, and what I am using is just some cornstarch and water. I'm going to put in a couple tablespoons of cornstarch to some water, stir that up, and once it becomes nice and dissolved, we'll go ahead and add that to a boiling sauce. You don't want to add it to a cool sauce or one that's not on the fire. You want to add it to the heat, and we will go ahead, thicken that up, and we'll save just a little bit for our beans just in case we need it. Okay everyone, the chili verde is done, the rice and beans are done, and now I'm about to start grating some cheese. My family really loves nachos, and so they will choose that over a burrito or over just a plate of chili verde with tortilla. So I go ahead and I grate my own cheese because it is so much nicer than just store-bought grated cheese. It melts beautifully, and so we use it all the time. I would suggest, if you do have a KitchenAid stand mixer, to buy that attachment. It makes grating your cheese a breeze. It is so much nicer than getting out your food processor or anything like that. It's just one small attachment. It's easy to wash, easy to use. So I would highly suggest that. I got mine at Walmart, and I want to say it was $40 for the entire box, and it comes with 3 different blades. So definitely check into that. Okay, I'm gonna get that done, and I will show you what our nachos look like. We normally put them in the broiler what I do is I'll put foil on a baking sheet and I'll layer my chips. I'll sprinkle on the cheese and put it in the broiler for just a few minutes. It will brown and crisp up those chips and just, like I said, melt that cheese so nicely. So I'll show you in a minute. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and attach this to the stand mixer. All you have to do is lift this up, and that's where all your attachments go in. And then tighten it up and you're ready to go. So let me get my cheese. I will say having these special attachments makes life so much easier in the kitchen. I use that one every week. Okay, now on to our nachos. As you can see, I took out a cookie sheet and a small piece of foil. I'm going to go ahead and place some chips across that foil and then layer on that beautiful cheese. I want to make sure that I hit every chip to get that ooey goodness on every one. Now, while those are in the broiler, I go ahead and take this time to get my garnishes together, like shredding up this lettuce, cutting up tomatoes, getting out sour cream or guacamole or anything like that that your family likes on their nachos. Take these out. You can see the beautiful crispness that the broiler added to these chips, and it melted that cheese into a ooey gooey goodness. You guys, my family loves their nachos this way, and I'm sure yours will too. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and top it off with what we made previously with that chiliverde. Make sure to grab some of that sauce up because you want that goodness on there as well. Next, we're gonna top it off with the pinto beans. They are smooth and creamy and just the right thickness from adding that cornstarch mixture to them, and then just a little bit of rice. We'll go ahead. Next, you can garnish your nachos with whatever your family likes. You saw me cut up that lettuce and tomatoes, so I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle that across there. I will probably add some sour cream and maybe some guacamole, and they are going to love this dish. They always do. It is a big hit. It is one of those things that I can serve every single week. Okay, back to the pork roast. It has been in for 3 hours now, so we're just gonna see how it's doing. Now, I will caution you to be very careful when you open up this foil because obviously steam is going to come bursting out and you don't want to burn yourself. Okay, if it begins to shred easily, then we're good. But if not, we'll put it right back in the oven and guesstimate how much longer we think it's gonna take. Okay, so I'm just gonna put it back in the oven and set a timer for 30 more minutes. All right, guys, I just put that barbecue pork back in the oven for about 30 minutes, and I think 30 minutes is going to be perfect. Now, when it comes out, I will shred it up, and I can do a few different things with it. I can leave it just as it is and use it in tacos or burritos, maybe even chimichanga. It could go on nachos that way also. Or I could add a barbecue sauce to it, and along with that taco seasoning, it's just going to make it a little bit more tangy. So that's a great suggestion there. You could use it in a barbecue pork sandwich, or if you have ever gone to Dickey's, they will take a baked potato and add like butter and sour cream and cheese, and they'll add the barbecue pork to that, and that is really, really good too. Now, obviously, a lot of these recipes are not, the healthiest, but they're good. So if you're looking for something that is easy, we've done 2 recipes today, really easy peasy, especially the barbecue pork. It's honestly, you dumped seasoning on there and put it in the oven for 3.5 hours. That's all we've really done. Like I said, when it comes out, I'll shred it, and I could do multiple things with it. I could even split it in half and do half and half. So you're actually doing more than 2 recipes if you split it up that way. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for all your support in my last baking video. That one went over really, really well. And I know a lot of you have mentioned that you're going to be making that recipe, and that really, really does make me so happy that sharing that has made you guys want to go out and try something new. I know you're gonna love it. If you try it, please let us know. And if you try any of these, let us know what you think. All right, have a great day, be blessed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.